Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now, the market made a pretty insane move today, and the main question that I have, which I'm sure a lot of y'all have as well, is this a bull trap, or are we going to see a short squeeze? We're going to discuss that thoroughly in today's video and what to expect. I'm also going to be sharing with y'all some stocks to keep on watch for tomorrow. All right, y'all, let's dive right into the charts right off the bat. We got the SPY over here, and the break, this thing right here, the market ran quite heavily today. It ran with a lot of volume, and it broke above this level of resistance right here. This is the first level of resistance that it broke, and this was at 6 a.m. And as soon as the market opened, then a lot of buyers started stepping in with a lot of volume. And then the next level that they broke was the one right at 47.60. And into the afternoon, it went all the way up. Now, one thing that I want to discuss in today's video, that I want to highlight in today's video, is that there are some dip buyers, right, located right here, right at 4,800, who were ecstatic to see the price get back up there. Now, again, for the sake of these videos, I'm not going to be neutral. I'm not just going to stay in the middle and tell y'all that I don't know. I'm actually going to pick a side, which means there could be a possibility that I'm wrong. We will have to find out in the morning. But I'm going to pick a side. I'm not going to be neutral on this thing. So let's talk about this. There are dip buyers located right here. And what I'm expecting, again, you got to put yourself in the shoes of these individuals. If you see the market giving you a second chance, a retesting that level right there, I think they would take that chance and sell and hope for a move down to get a better price. All right. So for tomorrow, some of you might think that I'm being a little bit more biased. All right. And I could be. Again, I could be. But I'm thinking about how these individuals up here are thinking. All right. And what they would do. And how risky it is to chase up here. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are chasing this move. A lot of people chased the move in the afternoon, and they're hoping for a gap up to 4,200 for another push high towards 46.60. They're hoping for that, and it's quite dangerous. I've seen the market do these moves where it starts off with the bears taking over, right? We see the initial sell-off, and then it gives a glimpse of hope to anybody who is long biased. And then these individuals take the bait, and then what happens next is that the market gaps down slightly lower, they panic, and that causes a huge sell-off. So I'm going to lean bearish. I'm going to pick a side. That is perfectly okay. All right. The moral of this thing is that you should be, number one, you should be managing your risk. Number two, you should be taking things day by day. Unless there's a very clean and obvious structure that just broke down or just broke out, take things day by day. All right. So, but for tomorrow, I think QQQ, or the SPY, I would say. Let's look at QQQ. I think QQQ is actually going to open up a little lower at 0.50%, and then drop all the way down below the low of below today's low, right here. And then that might carry on throughout the remainder of the week. Quick reminder, CPI data will be announced on I think it's on the 11th in the morning. All right. We're going to discuss that when we get there. But for tomorrow, this is the first scandal that I'm expecting, that I think will happen. Again, I'm not being in the middle. I will pick a side. I'm picking a side. All right. So that's my thoughts on the indices and what to expect tomorrow. Now, let's look at let's look at one stock that I've mentioned in yesterday's video. The first stock that I've mentioned in yesterday's video was NVIDIA. All right, and NVIDIA didn't exactly move the way I thought it would. I give y'all two scenarios and a caution. The first scenario that I thought would happen before we see any move up was a potential retest of the neckline. That didn't quite happen. It dropped a little bit pre-market towards 485 and then started pushing up into the open. And as soon as the gates opened, a lot of buyers stepped in. They put out a whole lot of news, and the stock liked it, and it broke right above 500 and pushed and pushed and pushed into the close. All right. Yesterday, I gave you guys a warning, and I'm going to give you another one right now. The ascending triangle. Oh, well, this is more like a bullish pennant. The bullish pennant is there. I think it broke out a little too early. A little too early. And I'm also considering the position of that bullish pennant relative to the entire year, to what it's been through, and relative to the indices as well. Now, if they put out another piece of news in the morning, we may see, again, if this is not a bull trap, we may see the video go all the way up to 550. All right, just like a very quick price action, just a huge move very rapidly that could last maybe between 15 to 20 minutes. Then as soon as it gets between 545 and 550, there could be a huge rejection and a sell-off right back down to 500. All right, I don't think we're going to 600. I really don't think so. I think it's too soon. But watch out for that, especially if they put out news just to boost the stocks, just so that we can see a morning run before the potential pullback. I don't trust this fully, and I really don't trust this fully. So be very cautious for tomorrow. Some of y'all may have chased up here. All right, so if you see money in the morning, don't forget to collect, and then think about the downside, because it could happen. Now, I think this is linking up with AMD. All right, in December, I had this picture on AMD. Again, it has the bull flag on there, and I had the circle at 160 right there. Well, it was initially put right here in the at the end of the year. I thought it would get to 160 at the end of the year, and then we started seeing the whole market sell off. This might be the wave where we see it touch 160. And if it gets to 160, I'm leaning very bearish. All right, I'm not a buyer at 160. Definitely not. I think as soon as it gets to 160, if it gets to 160, there's going to be a huge sell-off on the stock. So just be on the lookout for that. Have an alert at 151. If it hits it rapidly, then there could be a quick opportunity for a day trade in the morning. All right. If it hits it rapidly. So watch that one as well. Be very cautious, people. Take things day by day. Look for intraday structures that could potentially occur, that give clues on when to enter and when to get out. All right. Kind of like intraday structures that happen on Microsoft, like this one, for example. This is a bullish pennant. It happened on Microsoft. It broke out right here and it ran to where it's supposed to go at 374. All right, it is a bullish structure, but the big picture that y'all should be keeping in mind is this thing right here. It's inside of a bear flag. All right, it's inside of a bear flag, and you're seeing these drawings right here. I tried to record, but unfortunately the audio was on, so I'm kind of doing everything again. This is why this video is a little bit late. All right, this is why the audio was not, it wasn't playing, so I have to do this thing again. So for tomorrow, after this push that we've seen today, if we see QQQ kind of gap down a little bit, I think we could see a pullback all the way back down to 370. And if that happens and the CPI report is bad, we could see this thing actually completely break down and spill over into the next week. So just watch out for that. Watch out for these movements with Microsoft. Okay. Now, One stock that I want to discuss in today's video, somebody asked about Rivian in the comment section. So we're going to talk about Rivian. All right. And with Rivian, this one broke out of an ascending triangle during the previous FOMC meeting. It pushed all the way up to $24. And then now it retested that level of supports again. Is this a good place or a decent place to go long? Yes. All right, it's a decent place to go in to test the waters, because if you go onto the daily chart, there is a bullish engulfing candle on here. The 9 SMA is pretty far away, so I do expect. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we open up above 1975 and then we make a big push all the way up to $20.75 before we see the bears taking over like all of the indices and we see everything retrace back, all right, into this hammer or a dragonfly doji. So watch out for that type of price section tomorrow. I hope that helps you out, to the person who asked about Rivian. Now, a quick updates on Netflix. Netflix was one of the stocks that I told y'all to watch yesterday. And Netflix didn't move the way I thought it would, the way I would have liked it to move. I had a small short position on it. And what I was hoping for, I was hoping for for the stock to open below 473. It looked like it was going to earlier in that morning. And then as soon as it broke above 475, I immediately got out because it just got sloppy from there. And then later on, it pushed even higher after breaking above this level of resistance, kind of following the SPY. All right, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's okay. This thing moved up. And how about the daily chart? Daily charts right now, I would say be very cautious. It's looking like, again, the same question applies to this. Is this a bull trap, or are we going to see a squeeze? I'm leaning bearish on the Qs, all right? And this is not like the semiconductors where they put out a whole lot of news in the morning. So I don't expect it for this one. I think it's going to be a lackluster day tomorrow where we trade around 480 and potentially move lower later on this week. So that's my thoughts on Netflix and why it didn't play out the way that it did, because of the way that it opened. Now, the other stock that I actually had over the weekend, I'm going to move on to the Discord. I had Mara. Again, I made a video on Thursday afternoon telling y'all that I was bearish on Mara for the potential drop to 20. So when it closed at 24 on Friday afternoon, I had puts on there, all right? And I ended up selling them at exactly 910. First, it opens up higher, but again, the overall stock is very overbought. And then it has a little pump fake and immediately sells off all the way down. What really kind of got me mad with Mara is that the implied volatility was really, really high, which means that the contracts didn't really pay that much, even though it dropped by 5%. The implied volatility was at like 220, which really it kind of robs the, like, if you made money on it, you're not going to make that much, which is pretty much what happened over here. And negative 5% on a good day, this is at least 200 or 300% on the put options. But in this situation, it wasn't, because of the implied volatility. So I had to bail out of this stock right here in this candle before it made another push higher. All right, so that's pretty much the updates on the stock. That's my thoughts on whether tomorrow will be a bull trap or a short squeeze. And that is the end of the video. Again, do not forget to demolish the like button as always. Again, I make these videos from Sunday to Thursday at exactly 10 p.m. Central Time. This one is a little bit late because I recorded earlier and it turns out it didn't even have audio. So I had to do it all over again. All right. So definitely click on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell. That way YouTube notifies you whenever I release these videos. All right. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community, we can get all of this information in real time as I see them. You can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Paul Nguma, at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on Twitter. And lastly, if you are interested in getting some free stocks with Webull, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Nguma, Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in tomorrow night's video.